it's so stupid. It's so dangerous that that's out there. Yeah, I don't feel hungry, really, but I still enjoy food.
Let me bring this closer.
Oh, I want to clap today. You did the last one.
Okay. Let me just try one. Thank you.
Was it?
Can't really go for it. Cringe levels.
It helps if you don't block the microphone though, because that's what we're syncing it up with.
Welcome to Spill, the podcast we wish we'd had when we were growing up.
Some very candid conversations on life in your 20s and 30s, the ups and downs, and the messiest parts.
But essentially, we just chat pure shit.
So, welcome to the chaos. What face was that?
One that I haven't got a wicked premiere ticket.
Oh, boo-hoo. You can just go to the theatre like everybody else.
Oh, anyone for the US Open?
Yeah, but who made that manifestation dream come true?
Yeah, well, I will. Watch me on Monday. I'll be there on the red carpet
went
next to Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, looking like I've just...
I only really care about Jonathan Bailey in that lineup.
What?
I love him.
I can't. Do you know how iconic she is? Both of them.
What's the main character called again? Elzevir. Alpha? What is her name?
Elphaba.
That's really close. That was
And Glinda.
Glinda, the Wicked Witch of the...
No, Dick. Elphaba is the Wicked Witch. Glinda is... Actually, she's quite
the White
wicked.
Witch.
Yeah.
Look at that knowledge.
Whatever.
Name me 2 tennis players.
Nadal. And Federer.
Oh, all right, pop off.
Was that a man?
Yeah.
Is this mic close enough to me? It's feeling a bit off center, but it's fine.
Pull it in if you want.
Bring it in, bring it in. Do you know what that's from?
No, wait, hold on. Do it again.
Bring it in, bring it in.
Burlesque. I loved that musical film, Burlesque. Have you seen that one?
With Christina Aguilera.
And Cher, yeah.
Was you a Christina or a Britney?
Christina.
Me too. I want to get dirty. When she put that video up, I reckon
You wanted to wear the outfit, didn't you? The chaps.
Yeah, but you've seen that photo of me at that age.
Oh, those thick thighs.
That's mean.
I can say it because I've got them too.
Thick thighs save lives.
Something like that, yeah.
What's your spill of the week?
Oh, we're laughing about it now, but we weren't laughing about it when it happened, the spill of the week.
No.
It's not that sad. It's not that deep.
You were sad.
I was sad because I was annoyed. Anyway, I've been chatting to who I thought was a nice guy. And had teed up this date. I have learned a lot of lessons since. Don't tee up a date for 4 weeks in advance. That's lesson number 1. But the problem was I was away, then he was away, then I was moving house, and I was like, I don't physically have time to do this until then. And I did say, let's call the chat until a week before the date, so we don't need to continue the conversation. But we did continue the conversation. Anyway, I was really excited for this day because I felt like we were had a good vibe. We're getting to know each other, enjoying it, and then he Silencio Bruno disappeared off the face of the earth the day before the date. Location set, time set, everything set, all of the peppered during the week. Oh, I can't wait to see you. Oh wow, I'm fucking still waiting, aren't I? Anyway, I'm over the time wasting element of apps.
Yeah, that's the thing. The 4 weeks was a big error, but like you said, you've learned. Isn't there an app that forces you to meet up, so you only have a certain amount of time to talk to them?
You know what, this is really giving. I've never used apps.
I met my husband on an app. Duh.
Yeah, Tinder.
Yeah, all right, I was still an app, bro. Still swiping left and right.
Yeah, all right, fam.
And I was chirpsing. But there's an app that basically, I've heard it on a podcast because the woman, I can't remember who it was, but they interviewed the founder of this app. And it's basically to instigate in real life meetups.
Yeah, because the online drivel chit chat, count me out, it's not for me, I can't be asked.
Yeah, everyone does say that. And I do get it.
This has completely put me off. I don't want to do it. No, I just write it off for the rest of the year. I cannot be asked. No, sorry, other things to do.
We did your version of success is to get married and have children, but you're not dedicating any time for a date unless it's 4 weeks away.
I dedicated 4 solid weeks to meeting my potential husband. That's too much time.
We can't just give up at hurdle 1.
I'm not giving up. I'm just like, I'm not putting any more effort into that stream of finding what I want in life.
Okay, but Rebel Wilson did dedicate a year of her life to finding
Can we just
love.
put some context around that though? Rebel Wilson, who has an infinite amount of money and was able to like private jet herself everywhere, get a chef for all of her life, have a PT. Like, if you can pay to do all those stuff, yeah, of course I could dedicate a year to finding the love of my life. But like, I'm also like trying to work. I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to cook for myself. I'm trying to clean. I'm trying to live. I haven't got time to do all of those things.
Well, we're setting up a good dating profile for why a man should walk into your life, eh?
Maybe that's what we should do. Maybe you should do my profile.
What, online?
Yeah. Even though I've just said I don't want to date online anymore.
But I do get it. Like the apps are shit. Like
shit.
They're so shallow. They've really created shit behaviour.
I just can't be arsed with the like time wasting. I'm so fine with the rejection of it. Like if he had texted me on the morning, I've been like, you know what, tap out. I'm not vibing. Wish you well, bye. I would have liked that. That would have been fine. That would have been easy. It's the like, did you get hit by a bus, or did you block me? Like, what,
you still would have felt
these?
Something if he'd have texted that.
Yeah,
because it's just not a nice feeling, and that's just so okay.
Yeah, but at least the door would have been closed. Now the door's just been fucking swung into a different universe.
Swung off his hinges like a Monsters Inc.
Oh, I was just thinking that as I was saying door. I was
Mike
thinking
Wazowski.
Did you see Amelia Dims's?
Yes, so iconic.
She's the Heidi Klum of our generation.
Who's that?
You know, Heidi Klum, like she knocks out the Halloween outfits every year.
I don't really get Halloween dressed out. I just really don't get.
Oh, she always like has a mega. She go as a worm this year. Or was that last year?
I don't know who literally don't know who you're talking about.
Heidi Klum. She's like a really famous
Haven't got a clue.
You made yourself laugh the most out of that. She was married to Seal.
Oh, the singer?
Yeah.
Trace likes him.
Yeah, it's Trace's type.
See? She's got a strict criteria. No, I
don't think I need a strict criteria. I just need them to turn up for the date.
Yeah, fair. All right.
So yeah, that's my spell of the week. Rejection.
In the fucking bin.
But you know what? I think it's actually kind of a like online dating rite of passage. Because it happens to everybody.
Everybody. And I think the thing is, had it not been 4 weeks, could have been another 6 more men in there doing that.
What, not turning up to date me?
Yeah, I think
that's savage.
Yeah, but it's not because of you, but just because of the way they are. Like, that's what I mean. It's really like instilled this like, wow, fuck it, it's just a date.
I do think women can do the
isn't it?
same thing. Like ghosting obviously happens both ways, but let's just be courteous. Just tell me you're not interested and I'll be absolutely fucking fine with it.
Well, you wouldn't, but you'd probably be more fine with the communication.
I think I would be fine with it.
You'd be absolutely fine with someone saying, no, I'm not vibing with you now after 4 weeks.
I would much prefer that.
But what I'm saying is you would still feel something.
Oh, I'd be a bit gutted, but I'd be like, all right, fine, fair.
Yeah, it's easier to digest.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
So that's my big fat juicy spirit of the week.
I'm very proud of you for like crying about it and getting a bit upset about it, because you were like fighting it like till you were blue in the face. You're like, no, I don't care. I
don't feel like I was crying over it. I was crying because I'm
the
like
frustration of
I'm so angry that like I've wasted time.
Yeah, and but it's so fine to feel like gutted because someone has disrespected you and just treated you like a piece of shit.
Yeah, I don't even think I was crying over that. I was more just being like, I'd like psyched myself up. I'd like got myself into a good place about it, and then I was just annoyed that, like, you know, it was like sad anger. Yeah. Where it's like, I don't want to cry about this because you don't deserve my tears. And I'm not crying about him. I'm just crying about how frustrated the situation is.
Good spill, though, because there's a lot of people in that position.
Yeah. Gaddies, you're not alone. And men, you're also not alone when women do the same thing.
Proud of you.
Thanks so much.
Don't shut down the dating game, though. Keep going.
Oh, let's just part that for the new year. Oh, I'm down for an IRL meet. Like, okay. Bump.
Oh, yeah, because you want to stumble, isn't it? In the fall.
Yeah. Wait till the Eagles guys see me stumble.
I reckon New Year's resolution for 2025 is like no Delulu.
Oh, get real. That's never going to happen.
God's sake.
Let me live in Delulu. It's a nice place to be.
All right. Okay.
What's your spill of the week, gal?
I got a theatre spill of the week.
Oh, right. Let's just say it out loud. The double standards are so fucking loud. It's a sick joke. But
I didn't say you can talk about racket sports, did I?
You've said it literally about 13 times today.
All I've said is that the interest in theatre chat has really sparked everyone's eyes and ears. Only you and Hannah had an intimate racket sport chat.
It's not a competition. Musical theatre and sports can exist in the same place.
Can they?
Yeah, they can. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted. Tell me about Spill of the Week.
So, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but because we spoke about it with Geeta, that DB and I have auditioned for Les Mis.
Yeah.
So, for context, Cameron McIntosh, do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Basically, so Les Mis.
No, I know. Wait, can I say
you
this?
You know Les Mis, don't you?
This is the first time in however many years that amateur theatres are able to do the production.
That's right.
Is it for a 25th anniversary thing?
40th. So
wow.
Next year, Les Mis was released 40 years ago.
Okay.
And as a one-off celebration, Cameron McIntosh and his team, they've released the amateur rights to 11 cities across the UK.
And Bristol's one of them.
Bristol's one of them.
And there's 6 rounds of auditions.
6 rounds of auditions. So last Saturday we had our first round of audition. Mm-hmm. And then we had an email on Monday and we've both got through to the second round of the auditions.
You didn't tell me that.
No, because we're saving it for the spill of the week.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, it was really...
And DB wants to be Jean Valjean.
Yeah.
That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do also see him as a Javert, but I don't want to stifle his mission to 24601, you know?
Jean Valjean is the...
lead.
Yeah. And then that other guy is
Javert.
Russell Crowe.
Javert, yeah.
Yeah, got it.
But you do like Les Mis?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I love the film. I love the soundtrack.
Yeah. So it's it is really mega that amateur are getting the rights to it, but the company that are doing it in Bristol are I went and watched a show that they did a couple of weeks ago and it was like watching the West End. It was just insane.
So do you think you're that level? That's just a sense check. I don't know, are you? Are you that good?
Well, we'll have to clock back in after round 6. Fucking hell.
I think DB is right though. I'm just playing with you.
Okay. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
So when will you find out the actual thing?
Well, the second round of auditions are this Sunday. Then there's a 3-week wait to see if you get through to the third round, which is when you sing the solo for the part you want if you get there.
So what was the first audition process?
We had to sing 12 seconds of a song.
That's it?
Yeah.
What if you're nervous and then it's a
we were
croak
all
for the first
nervous.
3 seconds?
All of us were nervous because 2 of my friends are doing it as well. So me, DB, John.
And are you in a group and you go up as a group and you
individual. So they had 3 rooms, 3 people on each panel and a pianist.
Oh, this is literally making my toes curl. I'm scared for you.
And then you walk into the room and sing those 12 seconds.
What song was it?
Well, I'm not singing it because you've made me shy.
No, I think it's brilliant.
Part of One Day More, I think, the beginning bit of One Day More. And then now we're doing the end bit of One Day More.
That's in a different key, right?
Yeah, bro. So yeah, very intense, very vigorous audition process.
Would it be the same on the West End, that many?
No, there's less audition rounds to get on the West End for Les Mis than there is for this amateur production.
That's
is that
crazy.
Right, isn't it? There's definitely not 6 rounds.
How many people are auditioning for your part?
Over 1,000 people signed up to this Bristol one.
For all of the parts, though, not just yours?
Just to be in it, yeah. Just to be on stage.
Yeah, but someone who just loves theatre, they might just sign up to be in the chorus, right?
Yeah, but they still had to go through that round.
Do you reckon I can make
round.
it through the first round?
Well, it's too late. You've missed it.
No, I don't think I'd make it through the first round. You don't need to be polite. She's toned. I did karaoke at the weekend and it was a humbling experience. Celine Dion in the shower, I fucking smashed. Celine Dion at karaoke, it's dreadful.
Were you sober?
No. Nobody else was either, so it's fine.
That's the thing I miss the most about being drunk.
What, having a mic and being drunk?
Karaoke, yeah. I hit some banging notes then.
Yeah, it was really good.
Sober singing is very different.
I think that just should be a solo act.
Yeah.
At home.
So yeah, that's my spill. Thanks. If I'm good enough, we'll stay tuned to find out.
You are really good. It's only because I've heard DB sing it that I know, but I've never heard you
sing it. Him sing Les Mis is stunning.
I've never heard you sing Les Mis, so how am I supposed to know how good you are?
At the absolute at the absolute baseline, I'd love to be like whore number 4 or something.
I reckon you do a good job of that.
The funniest thing was that he got his email 5 minutes before me, like a full 5 minutes.
With 2.5 of those minutes you were fuming.
No, not at all. Like, the thing is, right, I'm not taking anything away from his talent. I genuinely believe that he is going to get, like, either one of those parts, I really think. And I also, if he doesn't get the part, I know 1000% he's capable of it and he'd smash it out of the park. But in musical theatre, if you are straight and talented, they like sniff you up like a line of cocaine. Like, they literally smell you out, they latch on. And I think DB's got like a really good charm about him. Like, he's very good with people. So when we actually turned up to the audition, his name wasn't on the list because he'd accidentally come at the wrong time, which is like classic him. So that immediately set up a bit of banter. And then they were having a bit of banter and I was like, oh my God, he's just done it straight away. Like, they can sniff that he's straight. They can sniff that he's talented. Then he did his line. He came out and he was like, oh yeah, the guy.
Did he sing? He has to sing the same song as you?
Line, yeah, but in a different like harmony range type thing.
Harmonies.
So I 1000% knew that he was going to get in, like, through the first round. However, I will always like hold my hands up. Like, I know my limits, right? And I'm not a beautiful singer. Like, I can't sing every single song and it sound beautiful. Like, I don't, like Celine Dion could sing every single song and sound beautiful, right? I'm like a character actress. So if I'm in the character, I could probably hit higher notes than any other song, but just because I'm in that character.
Method actor.
Just character, yeah. So in that first round, it was purely singing, like it was really high and it was very singing, it was very straight. So I was a little bit on the fence as to whether I'd be able to like, I don't think I'm going to be able to show what I'm capable of until I can get to this like round 3.
Did you practice a lot?
Yeah, loads.
Really?
Yeah. Because I do really want to do it. It would be like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah, I really want you to do it because I want to see you in it. But I think the thing that like blows my mind the most about all of it is like my skills like are literally just writing words. So it's like it comes to life on a piece of paper, whereas like your skills come to life in person. But because I've only ever seen like such a limited
amount of that.
Yeah, I don't. It's not that I don't know how good you are. I've only ever seen you in that one slot. I don't know
You've actually only ever seen me in that one show.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen like clips of you and other bits, but never live.
Yeah.
What was it, Waitress? What was it? Oh,
Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
No, there was another one years ago.
Oh, In the Heights, which should be called In the Whites because it was inappropriate to do it. I actually probably would have passed out because she had to be Latina, but yeah.
Anyway, that's enough musical theatre chat for one day.
Yeah. That's my spell.
I feel like we've had a real giggle and then this episode's going to be really dark.
We needed that laugh because we are going to broach a subject that's been requested to be spoken about again, but also we need to be careful.
Put my serious face on.
Yeah. I think we probably want to preface this chat before we mention what it is that we're going to be talking about by saying if you have problems with, or if you have struggled with eating disorders, body image, weight, relationship with food, and you find that topic of conversation triggering, then we totally understand why you wouldn't want to tune in on this episode.
Yeah, definitely like preserve your space in this episode. And if it is something that you find difficult, tap out.
Yeah. However, we also are very passionate about wanting to address this subject for all the people who don't have access to this sort of conversation because everybody is too scared to talk about it. I think that's quite fair to say, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of really, really loud noise about this topic, and I think, want to be a space, especially after I spoke about it online. I know that we will then be a space for people who don't know where to turn because it's so taboo.
But also to say, like, this is very much talking about it. We're not medical professionals. This is just we're talking about this conversation in context of our experience.
Yeah.
Disclaimer over. This conversation's come about because we had such a huge response to talking about weight in the first season of Spill. And I did you think that was going to have the legs it had? Like,
yeah.
Really?
I don't think you understand how, again, because it's such a taboo subject and people are so afraid to speak out loud about it, I think your vulnerability talking about your relationship with your weight just would have been so loud to so many people who needed it.
I just didn't think it would go as far and wide as it did. I'm really glad it did, and that people had such a, like, I don't want to say amazing response, but like people were comforted by the episode and by someone else sort of saying out loud how they feel. But I guess because we've had this relationship, and because we have these conversations about how we feel about ourselves and how we feel about weight and how we feel about body image and the pressures and all that other shit, because I have access to those conversations so regularly, I kind of forget that for a lot of people that they don't. And so those conversations become really internalized, and it's soul destroying talking about it sometimes, or thinking about it all the time. And what we want to talk about today is, we are going to talk about Ozempic, because we sort of teed that up last season to have a conversation about it, but kind of a bigger conversation on our relationship with food and our relationships with ourselves. I'm going to try not to cry this episode, though.
Oh, we haven't had any tears yet.
No, but I think I cried twice in the last time we talked about weight.
How do you feel since last speaking about weight?
I'm really glad that we talked about it, but I don't think I'm trying to make all this progress on myself. It wasn't that long ago, really.
No.
Like, I'm trying to make all this progress on myself. I'm trying to confront all these things that have been like massive looming clouds over my life. Like, but it's fucking hard. Like, it's hard to not think about the things that plague you every day. Like, never once have I ever looked in the mirror and like even been content with what's come back at me, or like never once have I like walked out in and out of it and been like, oh yeah, you look good. Never once. So I think trying to like undo all of those things now, like it's like unpicking a tapestry that is 34 years in the making. So it's going to take a long time. So while I'm really glad we had that initial conversation, it's still difficult to talk about now. Like it doesn't get easier.
That was a really great analogy.
Oh, tapestry.
Yeah, I liked that.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Is that my 3 to like round 2 of the auditions?
Oh, fuck off.
What's the competition? Words are us.
I think the place that I am at with it from our conversation is actually very different.
Yeah.
I will say that when we spoke about Ozempic the first time round, my knowledge of it was just that of social media posts and viral information, and also just the really sort of like throwaway, oh, everyone's on it, oh, everyone in the industry's on it, oh, everyone's on it. Like that's kind of all of the knowledge that I had on it, and that was that is what built up my viewpoint on it. And when you sort of said that you were thinking of going on it and whatever, I was a bit like 100%, like if that's going to help and you're doing everything else you can and you need extra help, then go for it. Never once in that part of our conversation did I consider that for me, because my actual first and foremost problem isn't my weight, it is the relationship I have with food.
But the weight then is like a secondary thing that comes with that. But I would say since that episode, you've talked about your body image and weight more than you ever had before.
Yeah, because it's never been worse than it has been. And although I've had periods in my life, I'd probably say I've always struggled with body image. I've had really big periods of like huge bouts of confidence, and really, to go back to that tapestry analogy, I felt like I'd really unpicked a lot, right? And I'd got really far. And what's happened the last 6 months to a year is that I felt like I've just like lost all equipment to do that, and completely at a standstill, which is really difficult for me in itself, because my entire career online was launched from talking about not
loving
only
yourself
filters,
as is.
not loving yourself, accepting and like caring about more stuff. So it's been a really challenging thing for me to work through. Why am I feeling so bad when and everything I said during those months of creating the campaign, nothing was for clickbait, nothing was for likes or like links, likes or clicks. But that's how I felt in that time, and this is how I feel in this time. And above any messaging I put out there, my reason for being on social media is to be raw and authentic and genuine, because I don't think there's enough of it, and I feel okay with being that myself. So it would be so odd for me to lie about it and like continue on this trajectory that I'm so happy with how I look, and I care about other things, because in the last year, I haven't been able to do that. I haven't been able to accept in the same way that I used to.
Where do you feel like you're at now with how you feel about your body and how you feel about your weight?
Well, this is the weird thing. So I put a post out on Instagram, I think it was a couple of months ago, to say that from my own research and reasons that I had decided to go on weight loss injections. We'll call it Ozempic, but
I don't think we should, because it isn't.
It actually isn't, is it? I'm on Mounjaro.
Yeah.
And basically what happened between episode 1 of Ozempic and now is I learned more about it. And the first thing that perked my ears up was when people started talking about food noise being silenced in their head. And I was like, huh? And then I sort of, fell down the TikTok hole, which is such a dangerous place to be with it, which is another reason why I want to talk about this today. But that's where I initially went. People were saying,
just, a hive of misinformation on
awful. It's absolutely petrifying. But the one thing that I did sort of loop in on was this like quietening of food noise.
For context, I think we need to say what food noise is.
Well, yeah.
Because not everybody experiences that.
Yeah. And basically, although it was just a TikTok viral thing, I immediately related to the point where I felt like and thought I was the only ever person who felt that.
No way.
Yeah, like I didn't realise that other people had this internal voice in their head that
oh my God,
it was
it's so loud all day, every day.
25/8 about food.
Yeah.
And that's what made me research further and harder. And, I'm not saying I'm some sort of like saint or whatever, but I have spoken to my doctor, spoken to nurses, spoken to dietitians, which have to have a qualification to work within the NHS. I've spoken to people on weight health clinics. Like I have done such extensive research, not TikTok as research, as to why I felt like that would be a help and an answer for me in the current stage that I'm in. And that is that my relationship with food had got so consuming, like I can't eat, like it's literally inexplainable to try and make it make sense how much it took over my life, especially in the last year.
Like, not that there needs to be a trigger for it to be in the last year, but like, do you think there was something that has made that like as bad as it is now?
I think the divorce, renovation, financial pressure, doing everything alone, being self-employed, like every single one of those things.
That makes sense.
Piled in like hard and fast.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get out.
And it's comfort.
Yeah. And the more those things piled in, and they did and they have, the louder and louder and louder the noise was in my head. And by noise, I mean, for me personally, every single minute of the day, I would not only be thinking about food or what I was going to eat next or whatever, but then I would be faced with, right, okay, we're going to have a salad for lunch. Oh, but, is a salad enough? What about if you get some chips on the side? Oh, no, you don't need chips. Right, okay, well, no, you could get hit by a bus, so you may as well have chips. Then I'd eat the chips. Oh, brilliant. Well, why could you not have just had the chips? Yeah. But, like, times that by 10 and make that throughout your entire day, every single day, the level of exhaustion.
Yeah.
And then also combine that with your actual physical feeling of what eating that way then makes your body feel.
It's a fucking vicious cycle, and I resonate with that feeling so loudly on the theme of noise, because that's been my entire life. There was a really interesting I think it was in the New York Times or the Atlantic, and they basically explained it like, imagine you and a friend are sat having a conversation, you haven't seen each other for a while, you're having a catch up, and somebody puts a bowl of French fries like in the middle of you.
Yeah.
One of you will basically, not intentionally, but completely ignore everything that person's saying, because in your head the conversation will switch to, do you reckon she's going to have one of those? I can't eat them until she has one. Is it going to look really bad if I want one now? Like, should I listen to her or should I do this? Like, you're consumed by the thought of food, while the other person, and the only person I know who doesn't have this is Polly Knight, who like, she's got such a great relationship with food, but like, she just doesn't. She loves food, eats well, but like, she's like, oh my God. I was talking to her about this. She's like, I've never had that. I was like, that must be bliss.
Yeah.
To like never hear all of that in your head all the time.
Yeah.
And then and then you're like berating yourself and beating yourself up like, oh my God, you greedy shit. Why are you even thinking about this? Like, focus on the other thing. Or like you said, you then are like, no, you limit yourself to this. You can only have this. Then you're like, but I've only had that now, so does that mean I can have this later? And oh well, if I have that later, then I'm a piece of shit. And then you're back in this cycle all over and over and over again, and you can't fucking escape.
And what's so frustrating for me at the moment with how loud this noise is around Ozempic and weight loss injections and being skinny and skinny being a trend is that everybody seems to be bypassing and overlooking how awful it is to have to live with that. And like I had people, to be honest, 98% of it was overwhelmingly supportive and positive. But I obviously did have a strand of, you know, I wouldn't call it hate, but like negative comments.
What were they?
Some of them were related, like how can she talk about wanting to remove filters but then go on weight loss injections, which is just like such a vast, thick statement to make. Like it just doesn't even make sense in itself. But one that came up quite a lot was like, you know, have you thought about going to an eating disorder specialist? Yeah, of course. But I'm already going to therapy once a week, which is costing me an arm and a leg. Like that's a priority for me. And we're discussing food and my relationship with that in therapy. But also I'm drowning in everything. And if based off the research that I've done, this drug is going to come along and help me, why would I not do that? Like, why would I not take that help? Like, I'd have help in any one of those strands of like overwhelming life. Do you know what I mean?
I think you have like, yes. And I like think that that's where you and I have a real difference there, because you're like, well, here's the problem. There's a solution over here. I'm going to just draw a straight line from A to B.
Yeah.
Whereas like I struggled with that so much because in my head.
You see the solution and turn around.
Yeah, let me just zigzag 18 miles in the opposite direction. And I went to we talked about this on the last step. Like I went to the doctor. They were like, we're going to prescribe you the weight loss. Well, actually, no, they first of all just wanted to give me surgery. And I was like, I think that you should ask for consent before you do that. And then they gave me the injection. I took it for less than a month and I hated it. But I think what I hated more was that I was taking it as opposed to what it was doing to me. I think I was like, you lazy shit, you useless woman, like awful things to myself constantly because I was like, you cheated. Yeah. You've done this to yourself, so you get yourself back out of it. Don't rely on something that's like a scientific fact to help you. Yeah. Silly cow. So we've swapped seats today, and the only problem with sitting here is one, I really miss my boucle chair, and two, I can really see myself in this mirror, and I am 10 shades more shiny than I thought.
Shades of shiny?
Yeah, like
levels of shiny.
No, well, shades and levels. I feel like an oil slick.
Put a bit of beauty pie powder on.
Should you go get me some, Hannah? It's already here.
Do you know that you know the loose beauty pie powder?
Sorry, can we just take a second for how lovely this looks? Look, it's so nice and compact, and now the heavy hand is going to come and
is that the new design?
Like a sledgehammer.
Like new design? I want that. But you know the fine, the loose. Send me that. You know the loose one. They still do that? Yeah. The loose powder, translucent beauty pie setting powder is so finely milled. You have no idea.
Oh, finely milled?
Yeah, isn't
Tell
it?
me you're a makeup artist without telling me you're a makeup artist.
You're being very demure putting that on your face.
I know. You know how this is how Sasha holds a brush? This is how I hold the brush normally. Dush, right in there.
It's taking the edge of shine off.
This is how Sasha does it. She always has the like violin finger. And it's like this.
Yeah, I do actually, don't I?
This. Yeah.
God, I'm actually so pro, man.
Well, you are a professional makeup artist.
Yeah,
and I was a violin player.
Were you?
Yeah, until they asked me to stop. I got to grade 3 and they said, you don't need to go any further.
Oh, were you good enough for that, were you?
I was so shit.
I was so shit. Yeah, do you know, I wanted to smash that mic so fucking far down your throat. No, because now I'm doubting it. What about if I don't get through on Sunday?
You will.
Well, and if I don't, I'll be like, oh, that's because Bill said you were shit.
No, I didn't say that.
She did, didn't she?
Yeah.
Did I? Is that how it came across?
Yeah.
Stop it! No, it was.
The noise in our head is loud, and the noise out there is so loud. Like I was just commissioned to write a piece for Grazia for their beauty issue on how like the the trend from the later season was like essentially incredibly thin models because there is this wider like social conversation that like being overweight is now the most grotesque thing. Well, I mean, it has been for decades, but like that is the most grotesque thing you could possibly ever be. And now there's this accessibility to something for people that don't need it and are taking it to become something that's like
unattainable.
Well, it's unnecessary. Like, and that is also unhealthy. And I'm not saying like these two ends of the spectrum, they're both they're equally as unhealthy.
Yeah.
There is somewhere in the middle that makes sense for a lot of people, but there is still this like shroud of shame around asking for help, taking help, needing help, because like I said, it, you know, and this is where I fall down constantly with trying to lose weight, is that I think everything is my fault. And that's the like unpicking part. And when we talk about using food as a comfort tool, like that's all I've done my whole life. And it's also been the reward system for everything too. Like when I was younger and, you know, I did well at school, my parents would be like, well, you know, what dinner shall we make to celebrate? Or like,
same.
I remember
that's a generation thing as well, isn't it?
Oh, hugely. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's a lovely way to like show care and affection. Like that is how I show that's what immediate learned trait from my mum. Like that's how I show love to other people. I'm like, oh, you're sad, I'll cook for you, or you're this, we'll celebrate it in a meal I'll make. Like that is a way I do show love, but it's also a way that I've like damaged myself because I've lent on that as a crux for emotional comfort. When there is like many other healthy ways to do that, but I didn't know how to access them. I didn't want to because that was always my support system, and it's never served me, and it never does. But like the idea of it is still like something that you think would comfort you. Like I've had a bad day, I'll make a bowl of pasta, and then at the end of it, I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
Or like you're hungover, you're like, oh, I'm going to get a cheeky Mackey's.
But the thing is, and this is where I think that there's no middle ground for talking about it, is like, I love pasta. Pasta is delicious. It makes me feel a certain way. I love talking about pasta. I love different pasta shapes. I love different pasta sauces. I love cooking all the different pasta. So on a day when I'm sad, I still might think to myself, oh my God, I'm going to cook myself a delicious pasta and that's going to make me feel better. The difference being, I won't eat a portion for 6 people. I'll eat a portion for 1 people, get all of the enjoyment and all of the benefits of that pasta, but then like not go to that harsh extreme of it. Like,
it is the extremes.
And this is the other thing that's sort of winding me up. And again, please don't see this as some sort of like, we're not advocating you go on weight loss injections. It's not about that. I think we want to hold this space for people where it is just not spoken about enough. The strain having this relationship with food like causes.
Well, I think it took both of us to like hit breaking point to reconsider that as a helping tool. Like you went to the doctors, I went back to the doctors, and they were like, we don't understand why you ever came off it. Like you have PCOS, you are pre-diabetic, you are overweight. Like this is a tool that is specifically made for people like you. Try it.
Yeah. I think I'm just so scared as well about the people that are sort of like, I mean, it's almost become like a multi-level marketing tool, and people are like, use my discount. I'm on month 3 and I'm on 7.5, but I'm so sick. I can't eat. I've not eaten for 6 days. Stupid. Like, you don't have to do what someone on TikTok is doing. Like, go and get professional help, professional advice. Like, I've spoken to someone, a nurse, she stayed anonymous in my DMs. And she said, I'm a fully qualified nurse. I've been taking this for like 3 years now. I've stayed on 5 milligrams. So she like basically microdoses this. She has a personal trainer. She has the best relationship with food she's ever had. And she feels incredible. It's not as simple as take a weight loss jab to become skinny. It's not that straightforward. This isn't what the messaging is.
Well, it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be, but it is because it's so loud, which is why I'm so adamant we have this conversation.
Yeah.
Because I can hand on heart tell you that if you said to me, right, Sasha, you can carry on taking this drug, but you won't lose any weight, would you still take it? My answer would be yes in a heartbeat.
Because of the noise.
Because of the noise, yeah. Do I want to lose a bit of weight? Yeah, 100%. I do, right? But that's secondary to why I am doing this.
It's the focus, isn't it, in the day? And that's what I don't think that's really had a big enough effect on me yet. And that's what I'm hoping it will. But like, I just want to be able to be productive in my day with other things and not be consumed by, one, like punishing myself, two, like thinking I'm an awful human being for wanting to eat something, and that cycle continuing.
The weird thing is, though, I think I've always actually had a worse relationship with food than you have. We've often been, you know, fucking hell, how many dinners have we had together? But like, we've definitely been in enough situations and scenarios for me to notice how much I'm either talking about food or finishing food even though I'm full when you've already stopped. And, you know, like...
I think, I honestly think that's in the last year that I've worked on it.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't want to try any of this until I had
Worked
put all
hard,
of that effort in, because like, it isn't just about, yes, there is so much about the food noise, but you know, when you are talking about weight loss, like exercise is such a big part of that for me. Habits are a big part of that for me. Like changing when and how and what I eat is a big part of that for me. So it's, there are like, there's very much a similarity in our relationship with food, but like, yeah, there are differences too. And, you know, we joke about it that like, you can eat a lot more than I can.
Like three times the amount I can eat than you.
But I also think that's because I'm so like conscious of what I'm eating.
Yeah. You feel like you've got to prove a little bit more that like, look how healthy I eat.
Well, there's that like running joke, isn't it? That like, you know, a bigger person, when you go out for a meal, I love salad. I joke about this all the time. Me and iceberg lettuce are like this. But
it's like deadest leaf of all.
No, it's so good. If you cut it up into really small strips, it's like so crunchy and delicious. But anyway, if you are a bigger person and you're out with friends and you go to a restaurant and you order a salad, everybody around that table is thinking exactly the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, she's ordering that salad because she doesn't want to eat anything else in front of us. If I ordered a burger, they'd also have a thought about it. Whether they meant to or not, there'd be a subconscious thought like, oh, that's why she's the size that she is, because she's ordering that. And if I went and ordered a salad, they'd be like, she's trying to eat better because she's with us.
And that's the thing that fucks me off so much about it, right? It's like societally, is that a word?
Not really, no. Socially,
we are so like, we're so brainwashed with all of this, like so far deep. There is no tapestry undoing. Like, how much can you fight back? Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, because like fat phobia is real.
It is real,
and people don't want to admit that they could be shallow enough to. But like, they're not being shallow. They're being innately human, which is a predisposed idea of how you should treat someone who's overweight.
Yeah, and those thoughts can come into your brain whether you think them or not. Like, by society standards, that is the way we've been conditioned for years and years and years and years and years. And can you even imagine the one thing that always brings me back, like when I go really, really, really low with it, the one thing that pulls me back out is thinking, look how lucky I am to live in the body I have. Like, I am an able-bodied woman. Like, that's still so much more than people who don't have that. And that is always my kind of like pull me out, slap back to reality type thing. But I think it's okay to want that extra bit of help, that extra bit of, it's okay, we've got you, in something so ingrained.
It's okay to want to change, I think, is like the crux of it. Because we've now, the world's flipped, and you're never supposed to say that you want to lose weight out loud, because that's like anti everything that's happened in the past 10 years around women's bodies and accepting them and like self-love and blah 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 and all this like stuff that exists online but people don't actually practice in real life. You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to just accept the body that you're in and be proud of it and love it and blah blah blah. But like, most people don't. Most people don't feel that way about themselves. And what this tool is giving people is an option for change. And for wanting to do that, there is still this big cloud of shame around it.
Yeah, although for me personally, I do still fundamentally wish that we did focus on more than our body and our image. And for me, again, like, it is a secondary thing. It has got me down how much weight I've put on, but my desire isn't to be skinny. That's not what I want out of this life. Like, when I think about having children, I want them to look at my body and think it's a body, not some sort of like piece of artwork that has to be maintained 25/8.
Yeah.
There is still all of that
Really
work
love that
I'm
25/8, don't you?
Huh?
Really love that 25/8.
Yeah. It's just like a really dramatic way of saying like above and beyond the hours of the day. I do want to do all of that other work to make sure that I'm, 360 supporting myself in making better decisions. And I don't want my whole entire existence to be consumed by how I look. Like, I still stand by that. That's why I started the campaign, because it was just next level obsession. Not just for me, but for like everybody.
And I don't want that. We talked about this before. Like, I don't want the fact that I'm like plus size in the industry or plus size this, or like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
Like, whether I am this size or not, like, I just don't want that to be the adjective that always sticks with me. But it's the one that I put on myself, and it's the one that everybody else does too. It's hard to shift.
Interesting chat.
Yeah. Remember when we had was it our first recording day and we went and had Nando's? Or was it our second?
Oh, second, yeah.
And out of nowhere, I was literally about to take a chomp of chicken. And you went, you do know like losing weight won't solve all your problems.
Do you know that?
Well, I do now that you slapped me in the face with it.
It won't.
Yeah, but what I said back to you was like, I know that it won't solve all my problems, but I think it will solve a lot of them.
Do you?
Yeah.
In what way?
I think people will treat me better. I think I treat myself better. I think that I would have more confidence to do more things. We'll have a better quality of life.
Yeah. It's so weird that that's become taboo to talk about.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But this is where the water is muddied, right? Because we can't sit here in our bodies and say we feel a certain way and then discriminate a size 8 woman for wanting to be skinnier than that and say that she should feel a certain way. Like, we don't have the autonomy to say that. No, we have no right to say that about anyone. But the waters are very murky because of, the variance of people taking this, basically.
I think I'm just really aware that I am on one extreme side of the spectrum. And I know that is unhealthy. But what I think people are overlooking is that the other side of the spectrum is also equally as unhealthy.
Yeah. To not eat for 5 days straight, that is not healthy. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah. But that feels difficult to say. Like, I can't, even if it was to a friend, I would feel really reserved in saying that, because there would be immediate judgment that I do the opposite. So it's like, well, what right do I have to even suggest that that's an unhealthy lifestyle, even if that isn't the way that I behave now? And for example, talking about dating profiles, you can put your level of activeness on there, active, or don't really do sport, not whatever, not active.
That's quite problematic.
Well, it isn't. I think it's more you'll have shared hobbies. But there was one guy that literally, that was the only thing he picked out of my entire profile and put active ?
No, he didn't.
Yeah. Obviously he's a pig, but as if that's what, people will still question that because I don't look as if I am. But I go to the gym 4 times a week. I do this, I do that. But do you know what I mean? So it's hard to be a spokesperson for something, or be a face of wanting to change
when you're fighting so hard against stuff like that every day.
Well, I'm just fighting against a preconceived conception of who I am every minute of every day.
Yeah.
If I walk down the street with an iced coffee, someone's going to think differently about me than if they saw a slimmer person walk down the street with an iced coffee. It's that base level basic.
Yeah. And I do think it's really important that people hear that, from your mouth, the straight up, that is what it feels like, and that is the truth.
It's the same with exercise, though. If I walk into a gym and a person next to me who is, say, a size 8 walks into the gym, people will have so many more thoughts about me entering that space than they will about the person next to me. That's not me being oh, boo-hoo, my life's so hard. That's me just saying, this is fact.
Yeah. And how is it fair that if you do exist in a body that isn't by society standards beautiful, that you're the one that has to fight for it? You're the one that has to fight for everyone else. It's okay, I accept myself in this body, I accept myself with these eating habits, so you should too. Like, why is that on us when it's so ingrained? Because you're right. If you and I were walking down the street both eating a burger, even in my size body now, you would get judged differently. And I can 100% accept that is a privilege I have, being in a,
and when we talk
whatever
about
size you call it.
When we talk about food noise, it's all that noise too. Like, for me, it's not just the food, it's everything else. And like, there isn't an injection that's going to change that, or there isn't like a drug or a tablet or whatever. Like, that's something that I have to learn to quieten in my head, and I have had to my entire life. Otherwise, I don't think I'd ever leave the fucking house. But like, that is something that you are, as a bigger person, that is something that you are confronted with morning, noon and night.
Yeah.
There is no escape.
I actually saw an influencer write a really great story about this the other day. It was Victoria Neve, do you know her? Mm-mm. And basically she did a Q&A and somebody said, what are your thoughts on Ozempic? I feel like everyone is either on it or talking about it. And I'm saying this because it's public information attached to her profile anyway. She had an eating disorder, like quite severe. And she wrote something, I can't remember how it was worded, but she said, it is scary. The information is like, very loud. But what I will say, from a white woman in a privileged, always have been slim body, I can't talk on behalf of how it makes people feel to live in other than that. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I just really respected that, because accepting your privileges in any form is a really important thing for me personally. I think it is. If you haven't experienced certain things and certain difficulties with weight, image, food, shut up.
Yeah.
Don't speak about it. Don't judge about it. Like, that's it. That's okay.
I'm really
Good for you.
I'm really keen to not play victim to this either.
No.
Like, I'm not claiming to be a victim of any of those things. I'm not saying like anyone should feel sorry for me or have like feel any kind of like sympathy towards that situation. This is my body. This is my lived experience. This is like just the way it is. That's just the way the world spins. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. But like, I don't think people actually, I think it's confronting for people to hear that, because that's probably behaviors they've had their whole lives and not realize that there's another person on the other side of that affects in a different, very different way.
Yeah.
Mic drop. Episode done. This form of it hasn't been around long enough for people to really understand like how it affects their mental and physical health once they come off of it, if they haven't built up habits that are
support
like,
it.
Well, yeah, that encourage a healthy relationship with food, that encourage exercise, that encourage you to like check in with your emotional and physical well-being. Like, if you're not doing those things when you come off of it, there will be repercussions of taking a medication that you've not. It's the same as like, oh, you get given a set of antibiotics, I'm just going to smash it in one day and hope this chest infection goes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not how it works.
That's what I mean. Fundamentally, how somebody could be like, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to lose 3 stone in 6 months. And then what? But then like, and then what? Like, what's your brain? How do you think that's a good idea?
Well, I think that's why like you have to come at it as a treatment as opposed to a fix.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a fix.
But the drugs have been used for years. Yeah,
that's what my GP was telling me.
It hasn't. And that's why it's getting so misused and it's becoming so dangerous, is because, like, I've got people on my TikTok like, hi, my name's Emily Cheaper Pants.
I don't think we need to give them a name.
And she's saying, I'm on 7.5, but I'm so sick. Like, the thought of food is making me feel ill. I can't eat anything. Go down a dose then. Go to your doctor. Like, that's not fucking normal. You shouldn't be heaving at the thought of food like that. If a drug is making you do that, then that's probably not a good thing, mate.
Yeah. Look, we aren't medical professionals and we can't give out advice on how people should interact with this.
Just don't be so silly.
But like, listen to your body.
Not listen to your body. Go and get medical advice.
But your body will be saying, hello, I'm hungry. Listen to that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, now that you've been on it for a couple of weeks, what's the biggest difference you felt?
I've never eaten more balanced in my life. I've eaten healthy in my life. I've eaten clean in my life. I've fasted in my life. I've been on diets. I've done everything. But I have never felt so consistently balanced, ever. So...
And that's really freeing.
Mega. Because I would never be the sort of person that like, I'm never going to eat a takeaway again. Wrong, not going to happen. Never going to eat chocolate again. Would rather die. Like, that hasn't happened for me because I think I've done so much research and I've been so sensible. I'm prioritizing protein in every single thing I eat. So whether it's just breakfast, lunch, or whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner, protein is the first thing that I think about. And the secondary thing to that is like my greens and my colour and my nutrients. And I've also actually really always been interested in nutrition anyway.
You do cook, like obviously you've
Really
cooked for me,
fresh.
but like you're like a whole foods cook.
Yeah. And I have never felt more at peace with what I'm putting in my mouth. Like we had a takeaway on the weekend. This is just an example of like how I would used to be. So if it was the weekend, like weekend food was a really different thing to like a Tuesday night food. Like
Yeah, totally relate.
there's a celebratory thing because it's the weekend. So maybe like Friday night we'll have pasta, again, probably 6 portions worth. Saturday night we'll have a takeaway. Sunday it's a roast. But I'm not talking just like a normal amount of like chicken, veg, potatoes. I'm talking about if I went to my favourite restaurant in the world, Toby Carvery, I'd go for the king size plate and it would just be like spilling and I'd eat all of it. And then half hour later I'd be like, oh, fancy a bit of chocolate. And then I'd eat chocolate. So we had a takeaway on the weekend and I fancied an Indian, didn't crave an Indian, didn't consume my entire day. But on the way home, we'd been to see a show. And I was like, actually, do you know what? I think I could eat an Indian. Before, I would have absolutely no drama been able to eat a full rice, a full naan, a full curry and a side dish and poppadoms, no drama. I would have felt full and like probably would have felt sick.
I would even struggle with that.
Yeah, you would, but we've already established I can eat a lot. I can put it away. And then this one that we had on the weekend just gone, I bought the marinated chicken tikka pieces. I got spinach paneer. And
Go on, say it in Indian.
Paneer.
Good girl.
And I had...
That's my mum taught her well.
Oh, and then I had lentil, I had dal. Like,
Protein.
in terms of,
protein.
Okay, fresh broccoli, kale, stuff like that. No, it wasn't great, right?
Yeah, it wasn't like a butter chicken and 8 Peshwari naans.
Yeah, and it was
Progress.
it was a plate full of like protein, fiber. You know, like the choices in that moment were 10 times better than the choices I would have made 3 weeks ago. And then what would have happened the next morning? I would have woken up, felt horrific. Oh, fuck it. You fucked it last night. She may as well have 6 bacon sandwiches as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's gone. I'm drinking more water than I've ever drank because it's really important that you stay hydrated on these drugs. So, like, if I wasn't going to drink enough water, then I'd be stupid to take it because it's dangerous to, you know, be dehydrated. I've taken electrolytes.
You're being a smart girlie.
I am really trying, and I am regularly sort of like talking to people and you know, talking to medical professionals and also researching scientifically backed information. So yeah, basically we don't want to be advocates for losing weight or going on injections or anything like that. Like, for the love of God, please make sure you seek medical advice no matter what you do. But we definitely just wanted to make sure that we could cover that grey area that no one seems to be addressing from our points of view, both in very different bodies and have very different relationships to food as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
You just covered it all.
Did I?
Yeah.
Fancy an Indian now. This is a question from DB's best friend. You know, we spoke about platonic friendships.
Yeah, put it loud though, I can't hear it.
Ross.
Oh,
Ross.
Okay, I've got a question. If you could have a superpower, but it had to be kind of useless, what would it be? And another one. If you could start a rumour about yourself, what would it be?
They are such great questions.
Oh my god, if you could start a rumor, I'd want to start a rumor that I shagged a really fit, famous person,
Who would it be?
like Brad Pitt or something.
Nadali.
Nah, I don't think I want to have sex with Nadal, but I'd start a rumor that like, but you know, people would be like, but did you know Billie shagged Brad Pitt?
That's a really good one.
But who would be better than Brad Pitt? Who'd be like so left field?
Idris Elba. Ay, papi. No, don't, because we met his wife and I was so nice to her. She was lovely, to be fair, but I did just look at her thinking, I've fancied your husband for a very long time.
He's a good looking guy.
So is she, to be fair.
Yeah, mine would definitely be that I'd like shagged a really fit, famous person.
That's quite a good one. I can't think of what my rumour would be.
But it'd have to be someone a bit obscure. You know, like, have you ever played that game where like it's the legitimate person? Like, if you met a celebrity at a bar you could legitimately sleep with them. So like there's people who like you definitely could, like Ollie Murs. If you met Ollie Murs at a bar, you probably could legitimately sleep with him.
What's a useless superpower? That's a good question.
A useless superpower.
Mine would be this. Every time I close my eyes, I decide a different job around the house has been done and it's been done. So like, hoover up. Mop the floors.
But they hadn't been done.
Oh no, the dishwasher. That's my superpower.
But have they been done or not done?
No, they've been done because I close my eyes. That's my
but that's
superpower.
not a useless superpower because then it's useful. It's clean the house.
No, but like useless, like it's not like time traveling or...
Right, Spidey, keep those sounds away.
What's your superpower?
I was just going to pour Diet Coke out my window. But like the McDonald's one specifically with
Crispy.
the McDonald's eyes. Yeah, crispy. I'm thirsty.
So good. That's
You
really
can't
good.
pick a superpower that actually does good things like cleans your house. Pick a better one.
I can't.
Yeah, right, well,
That's
I win
really
then.
good. Oh my God, there's so many questions. I don't know why I didn't ask this group before.
Hit us with one more.
Wait, 1 minute.
If you broke into someone's house, what's the item you would take to be really annoying, such as like light bulbs or the salt
TV remote control.
That's so funny. Light bulbs is a good one. Like someone you really hated and you didn't want to like, you don't want to like revenge or anything, but you just want to be a bit annoying. Imagine taking all their light bulbs. I'd take all their bedding. So I'd sleep on
I
a
was
raw
literally
mattress.
just thinking that. Bed sheets.
Yeah, raw mattress, bitch.
Yeah, or all their clothes. That seems quite a lot to take.
Very good. Midnight Movie Club came through.
Is that what that group's called?
Because
Sounds wild, isn't it? Because you go to the opening night screenings. They're all having the same last 48 hours as you, aren't they?
Mate, my 48 hours won, so I don't know why you're taking the piss. No one wants to go to Charbella with all their mates except you.
I do. Oh, what a day.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
That was
I
funny.
need to get out of this room on 10,000 degrees.